All right, I want to talk about the website for the class we're all in. So hopefully hopefully you recognize the screen, even though I have more the computer screen or the teacher screen. So I have things like manage the course and instructor's gradebook that you don't have, but most of the things on the side panel here you would have. So I had clicked assignments like you would, and I can tell a lot of people are doing this, and that's great that you're jumping into the assignments, but I'm a little concerned that you're not looking at the whole website, some of you. Certainly while we're doing review, if you're making progress on the questions on the test bank, I'm okay with that. I'm not going to force you to watch videos or read a book that you don't need. But I want to talk about having that as an option, or with the options that you do have. So I'm picking a question here, and I think I had a chance to do this, but I was having technical problems on the live feed the other day. But I do think I communicated this part. Anytime you have a problem, now this won't be here. This question help will not be here when you're doing a test. I mean, it'll be recycled questions that look similar to the ones that I assigned, but you won't get the question help. Question help is a homework thing. But it has all of these choices here. There's an animation, view an example, help me solve it. I'll go ahead and view the example and kind of just really quickly go through what did I do? I click close, not continue. All right. Really quickly go through what they're asking you to do. So on this type of problem, it says that we should factor the numerator. You can see that. Factor the numerator and denominator. And this is interesting. It does say cancel all the common factors. The word cancel is kind of frowned upon in mathematics in some cases. So sometimes they'll say another word like divide the common factors, but they cancel the factors. All right. This might be enough, especially like I said, it might be enough because we're doing review. But I want to, like I said, on this video, talk about all of the assets, all of the resources, all of the things that you have on this website, and it really is amazing. So I clicked on Skill Builder, and the only reason why I did that was to capture this line right here. Do you see what it says? Objective, multiply and divide rational expressions. I'm not even going to do the skill builder. I just wanted to see that. Multiply and divide rational expressions. You know what else I could see that was always there? This right here. R.7.25. So most books usually don't have a chapter R. They start with chapter 1, but our book starts with chapter R. But chapter R, section 7, problem 25. Now, why am I looking at this? Well, hopefully you understand. I am going to go to the e-text. And I'm actually going to go to chapter R, section 7, which, let me call that back up. See this question right here, R725. 25 is the problem number, so just R7 is the section. And I'm going to go to R7 and look at the book. And again, this isn't just a book, it's an electronic book that has videos and other things associated with the problems. But I can understand this. You may not feel like reading an entire section to answer one question. I get that. All right. So here we are, R7. And R7 is, well, it goes from page 61 to page 67. And it has multiple objectives. Remember that the objective that I was looking for was multiply and divide rational expressions. So in order to, I'm going to bring it back on the screen. In order to do this problem, I know that that means I should know how to multiply and divide rational expressions. So page 62 takes me to page 62. I'm still not there. Yeah, here it is. Multiply and divide rational expressions way at the bottom of page 62. Now there is a video I could watch now. I'm not going to click on it right now. I mean, I think you might want to do that, but just wanted to let you see how we could find, here it is, an example very similar to the example that I wanted to do. So once I find a similar example, I can see it in the book itself. By the way, this is something that some of you might not be used to. This last thing they put without really even being instructed to put it here. At this level of algebra, there's algebra 1, there's algebra 2, and then there's college algebra. At this level, pretty much all college algebra books start doing this kind of thing. It's expressing the domain, even when they're not asked to express the domain. Now, notice, I didn't really want to get into math on this, but it's an interesting idea. Notice how negative 2 is mentioned, because if x was negative 2, I'd be dividing by 0. 0 is mentioned because if x were 0, the denominator would be 0, and I'd be dividing by 0. But this 1 is I guess the important reason. Why did they bring that up? Well, the reason why they brought that up was, in a previous step, if x were 1, I would also be dividing by 0. So this domain here is trying to capture the domain of the original problem, not just the final answer. And like I said, books at this level like to spell that out. Sometimes I refer to it as just respecting the equal sign. This first problem and this last answer really aren't equal if x equals 1. And the reason why, if x equals 1, this would give you an error in a calculator, this would give you an error in a calculator, this would give you an error in a calculator. But if x is equal to 1, this last step would give you some answer. That looks like it would be 0. But it would give you an answer instead of an error in a calculator. And that is just one of those things. We want to respect the equal sign by saying, this doesn't work even when x equals 1. All right, I got ahead of myself on that, but there's how you can find the problem in the book. Now, that's not the question people have been asking me. People have been asking me, or stating, that they are overwhelmed by the sheer number of videos. And I don't disagree. All right, so you can see this one, video and resource library. If I don't put any filters on this, if I say all chapters, all sections, and all media types, I'd be watching videos, pages and pages of videos, guided instruction, all these things would just be overwhelming. So I get it. Yes, there are a lot of videos, which is why I did that little analysis thing that I did earlier. I really just want chapter R, section 7, and again, I know it's R7, and I'll go ahead and leave all, but you know what? You probably don't want, I don't know, PowerPoint, and I don't know. Just leave it all. We'll just click on that, and it's still a lot, but it's certainly not as much as we were looking at before. Remember, if I want to do that one problem or know how to do that type of problem, I could do that. Now, one thing unique to web pages seems to be this. Websites will always kind of feel like they circle back to something you've already seen. If I click this, it would just take me back to the textbook, the very textbook I was just looking at. So, and I think I heard somebody say this, you know, when they're designing a website, they give the students opportunities to bump into the same material over and over. All right, that is why the textbook popped up again. But I want to get to the videos. All right, so remember back when we were looking at this problem, and it said multiply and divide rational expressions. Multiply rational expressions. I can find a video on it. Unless the video is embedded in the homework, you don't have to watch it. Just want to make that clear. But the video has some choices.
We're now going to
information on the video.
Multiply rational expressions. The idea
Turn on
behind
the
multiplying
captioning.
rational expressions follows the exact same logic that we
And
use
I'm
to
going to
multiply
kind of skip ahead here.
x plus 2 is prime.
So
right?
remember how I got here. This was the video on multiplying rational expressions, and looks like
Technically, they're parentheses.
Yeah, technically these are in parentheses, meaning I have to do x plus 3 first. I have to do x minus 2 first.
by the way, I notice he says here
multiplication.
stop it. But notice he says divide out the common factors instead of cancel the common factors. Cancel, even though that's what he did, is one of those things that, like I said, a lot of books don't like using the word. They like to say there's addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, but there's no cancel in math. So explain it using some other numbers. So you can even say, it says you can divide out instead of cancel. All right. Again, it wasn't supposed to be a lesson on this particular topic, but just kind of showing you the wealth of ideas. And yeah, if you step back and just, I mean, there's nothing wrong with reading the chapter, reading the section. I think that's great. But if you want to limit your reading, your videos, your whatever you're watching to, just get not just the question itself, but the entire gist of the question, then I'm sure I think I showed you how to do that. All right. I have not covered everything, certainly. I mean, there's so much more to this website. There's other videos, author and action videos, guided lecture notes. All right. Not sure how well developed some of these other things are, but I do know the video resource library is very extensive for this class. And like I said, to the point that some people are overwhelmed by it. Don't be overwhelmed. Just know where you are, know what you're looking for, know what question you're trying to answer, and the resources there. All right. hopefully that communicated the idea of the website, and I'll talk to everybody next video.